Both Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra declared my next guest to be the best singer in the business. I'm not going to argue with them. He has a great voice. Tony Bennett, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Tony, good to see you.
Thank you.
Well, it's good to have you here.
Oh, it's good to be here.
I know you went well for a while. I'm glad you're back. Got rid of the bronchitis and everything.
Thank you.
Now, Tony, you've been a star for, oh, I won't say how long, a long while.
About 30 years.
Years. 40-odd years. But even for you, I don't suppose you could have dreamed of the kind of success you're currently having in America, especially with the younger set.
It's wonderful, yes. It's a charmed life they're giving me, the young people. You know, all of a sudden they're finding out that their parents weren't that wrong.
You mean like quality songs and things?
Quality songs, you know, Cole Porter, all of the Sinatra songs, you know, Nat King Cole songs. They're starting to dance to that kind of music again. In fact, they're doing it in Britain also.
Yeah. You're now appearing, though. You're doing concerts with some of the grunge bands and all the you know, the rockers and the rappers.
Yeah, but the wonderful enthusiasm they give me, I'm thrilled that you know, Phil Collins and all these, Elton John, all these fellas really admire what I've been...
What do they say to you, Tony, when you turn up at a concert? I mean, look, you look really sharp here. This is a sharp suit. I mean,
well, so is yours.
Well, thank you very much. Do you want to dance?
No.
But seriously, what do the kids say? Is there that respect? They say, well, that's Tony Bennett, and we are us. And...
Well, I think they're hoping for longevity. You know, like Paul McCartney is lucky enough to have sustained all these years. You know, there's just certain artists that... are lucky enough to... you get hooked in this business, you know. Mick Jagger, years ago, one time, I went to New Zealand this spring, and they said, did you hear what Mick Jagger said about you on television? This was in New Zealand. I had never been there. I said, no. He said, well, they played an old film of his in the 50s. He said, when I'm 50 years old, he said, I'm not going to be like Tony Bennett or Frank Sinatra. He says, I'm not going to be singing, be old and singing. And there he was the next night in New Zealand singing at 50 years old.
You went to Sinatra's birthday, his 80th birthday. But what's he doing selling off his possessions? He's not short of a few bucks, is he?
There's never enough money. No, I'm only kidding. No,
I don't think you're going to have to be selling off any of your possessions because
well, you never know.
Well, you're doing painting. You know?
He doesn't need the money. Yeah, right.
But you're painting now, right? And it's not exactly like number painting. It's a financially rewarding situation.
I've always painted as long as I've sung. It just takes longer to become known in that field. And I studied in art schools my whole life. In this country, I had a great professor, Barneycoat, that taught me painting. And he was a magnificent teacher and helped me an awful lot. And I've been studying. I study to this day. I'm 69 years old and I study. You never stop learning with painting, and it's a joy and it's a wonderful... It's a wonderful, wonderful profession. I got in my first All-American Museum in the Butler Institute in Youngstown, Ohio, and that was a big thrill this year.
So what do you make of this? I mean, I don't know if you read about what happened here. There's an artist called Damien Hirst, and they're hanging, I think it's called Mother and Calf, and it's a cow. Can you see this? Cut in half, and then... it's in liquid. I mean, is that art?
Well, I didn't see it, but I can't wait till he finishes it.
When you do a painting, what do you put Tony Bennett in the corner, do you say?
No, it's my family name is Benedetto.
Oh, that'll sound better. Oh, 200 years down the line, I've got a Benedetto. That's going to sound...
No, well, actually, you're right, because in Italian, when you translate it, it means a blessed life. And it's a wonderful name. When I was a little child, I didn't like it. But now I just adore the name. It's Benedetto. It's a very wonderful wish that you give someone for that name.
Have you got enough hours in the day? Because reading about you, you do 200 concerts in a year.
I've been doing that 40 years now, yes. I love it.
And you're painting and you're playing tennis every day or every other day. And dare I say, you've got a girlfriend, I'm told, who's...
Well, I just saw...
40 years younger than your good self. I mean, what do you want, Tone?
I'm on living. I believe in living, and I believe in... I just saw one of those little crochets on one of those pillows in one of the windows there. It said, this is not a rehearsal, this is life. So why not live it?
Well, you're
you
living
should
it,
enjoy.
aren't you?
You should enjoy your life. You should do the things that you love to do, and you only go through one time. And I found out that if you do the things that you love to do, it works.
And you'll sing better, I bet. If you've had an exhilarating day, whether it be tennis, whatever, you're painting, you get a kick, you go on there, and you're doing what you do best and love best anyway.
Well, you know, my first singing teacher, Mimi Spear, who way back in the 50s, and she said, "Do you know how to sing well?" I said, "How's that?" She said, "You have to feel good. You must feel good to sing well."
I find that.